Welcome back to Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. Last time, we discovered the true horror that was teleport mazes. Just be thankful we're not in Strange Journey. Ugh. And also shut off the brokenness of Makoto Yuki and Aigis. I have to say his surname every time, otherwise people will think I'm confusing him with the Persona 5 Makoto. Okay, we have a new recipe here. This time, I think I am going to be going to do a special screening, but also the rest of the floor. Oh, hey, it's the sleep stick. I remember that from, I think it's Persona 5 or Strikers, either one of them, or it could be both of them. Killing Scalpel, that's horrifying. Wow, that's a lot of sleep on that weapon. Also, we have an Unknown Charm, and that will give us Next SP plus 15%. That's really nice. Maybe for somebody like Yukari? Oh, right, the other thing that I promised to do. So, if we go into the Velvet Room, I'll go home later. Yuki Joryo. Have I sacrificed her before, or is there going to be a fee? I have not sacrificed her. Okay, that's a pretty steep fee, but it's worth it for double link. So, you into Berserker. Yes, I will do that. And I get a level up as a bonus. Yeah. You have blank guard times 55! Yes, I will pass that on. Yeah, special skill double link. Oh. Everything here is really good. Like, Endure's great too. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of Mighty Swing. Now, this is, like, me going fully all-in on Psy-Strike Link, but, I mean, say I put this on Femc, she already has another Link skill. Okay, I'm 38 now, so I can get Lenan Sheed. Oh, I remember Alra Une serving me very well in Q1. Oh, Wind Boost? That actually will stack with Persona 3 Male MC, wow. And Narasima. Natural Ambush Arts is nice. Oh yeah, White Rider's available now. But can I, like, get any of my main magic personas into you? Okay, I don't need Turdak. So maybe Aguilau, Korga, Eiga, Freyla. That's a good amount of elements. I don't exactly need Kikuri Hime now that I've made a better, magical persona, so Aguilau, Mabufu, I suppose resist ice, because a lot of ice weak people are good magic users. Oh, I feel like that was taking me a longer to skip, so I thought that would be an accident, but no, sadly. I will get Dantalion back. Okay, can I make anything good out of these three? Because I don't really need these three. I do not want to pass down Orb of Haste. I'm going to sacrifice one of them into Rakshasa for triple link. This is the only link that gets buffed by Power Charge, but it's still very weak, so I think I'll get rid of that. Because Bound Arts is kind of fun when combined with link skills. Oh, I would like to sacrifice into Alrune. 2 sacrifices may do it. Yes, 2 sacrifices will. I will not inherit Orb of Power. And I do not care about Repu Strike at all. Even though he's a medium splashing wind attack. Okay, so yeah, that plus full card on Makoto Yuki is going to be very fun. Oh yeah, and I need to make sure that I register. Register the extra Linky Berserker, register the extra Linky Rakshasa, and then register the extra Magic Killy, Alra Une. This one's kind of a straight upgrade on the old one. Same magic boost, but also boost endurance. Oh, Yosuke and Koromaru have the same weapons. That makes sense as well. I think that was also true of Q1. You know, given that I use just Yosuke's normal attack often, maybe the low chance of insta-kill could be a benefit. It's actually not a bad weapon for you. I'll take more HP on Femc as well. Arn has a lot of, like, ailment-inflicting weapons. I'm not sure if that works on Massacre's Lash. Slightly raised party meter gains. Because everyone hates Akechi so much that it charges up the navigator powers. New accessories. Yoga's. Oh, paralysis. Makes you too flexible to paralyze. I guess that's what the Limber ability in Pokemon is as well. And we can also buy Bind Cure. Cures binds 1 row. Okay, so prep's finally over. Let's go to the box office.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they are unlocking a new one here. The legendary supervillain, Popcorn Man!
Oh yeah.
I recently found some, like, old, some, like, original comic books that I drew when I was, like, a kid. I actually made them, like, fold out and everything, but, like, they weren't colored, they were just pure, terrible sketches, but, like, I had a villain called Snake Man. The idea was that he got blinded in an accident, so he uses, like, vibration sensors to, in a suit to, like, see. Now I'm thinking I probably should have made that character a hero, not a villain.
Yeah.
Also, I made that before I knew that Mega Man had a Snake Man. In fact, I didn't even know Mega Man exists. In fact, I'm pretty sure I went through, like, my entire, like, most of my school life without knowing about Mega Man. Even though I knew about a lot of other big game franchises. Because, like, Mega Man had its heyday on the NES, and, like, that was well before my time. The futuristic Gizmo. The futuristic Gizmo? That's one of the most powerful gizmos in all of Aigis! Oh, wait, no, Genetic Land, okay. Yeah, 2 out of 3. Actually, technically, I think all... Well, I mean, I don't know where Kamoshida Man is meant to take place, but it's probably some kind of near future. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh yeah, I guess Genetic Land is hard sci-fi compared to the soft sci-fi of Aigis. Just like Fuka talks about hard sci-fi versus soft sci-fi in one of her movie hangouts in Persona 3. Huh? Basically, like, soft sci-fi is like Star Wars, like something really outlandish, whereas hard sci-fi at least tries to base itself off of, like, things that kind of exist in the time it was written. Wow, Futaba using the word normie. But, like, for example, even though Jurassic Park is kind of outlandish, it was based on real ideas, like Dolly the Sheep, I've referenced many times, like cloning, like artificially cloning, like animals. That's a thing people have done, and it is theoretically possible with the DNA of deceased animals. So, there's the idea of doing it for, dinosaurs. In fact, I think, like scientists have actually, like, tried to, like, resurrect extinct species via cloning. That's entirely what, like, Pokemon's fossil revivals are about. Like, they're technically not being revived. Like, this is actually something that my parents talked to me about when I was a kid to explain, like, the whole concept of the fossil revivals in Pokemon. They basically said that, like, rather than, like, actually bringing the fossil back to life, it's more like they take DNA from it and, like, create a new creature from the DNA in the fossil. By, like, cloning. Elizabeth is in full, like, you know, spy hunt mode, I guess. I was about to say superhero mode, but I'm like, the only, like, imposter, like, superhero stories, like, Skrulls, and, like, the MCU just horrendous. Well, Skrulls were fine in, Captain Marvel, but, like, Secret Invasion does not sound good. So, yeah, I have a few of these piling up, but wow, Naoto, Yufuka, and Yusuke is an interesting combination. The promo card, though, I am an idiot. I shouldn't have bought all my weapons and armor in that session, because the promo card gives you a discount at the shop. So this actually might be really useful to do as soon as possible. In fact, it is probably best that I take care of both of these right now. So yeah, those who stand at the top first, though. Time for you to be savvy detectives in Kamo City. Interview witnesses, comb the crime scenes, solve the mystery in a dramatic reveal at the end of the movie. Haven't we done this before? Typical movies reusing plots. I mean, granted, like, Kamo City is really the only one of these movies that we can have a crime. Actually, no, because, like, I, Robot was an attempt at a crime thriller in a sci-fi, so, I mean, yeah. You can really have crime thrillers anywhere. It would be really funny if, like, you could do, like, a murder mystery with the herbivores in Jurassic Land. One of the herbivores is secretly an omnivore. Yeah, as you can see, we've got Persona 3 characters taking part in this one. I mean, Makoto's dad was a detective, so she actually knows some of this stuff. Mitsuru, meanwhile, is just like, oh, Futaba's pointing that out. Mitsuru, meanwhile, is like, I maybe have read a few things, and I vaguely think I know how stuff like this works, but like, okay, so, what do we do? I have no idea. I was gonna make some kind of joke about some kind of horrible misunderstanding crime scene investigation procedures, but like, I'm not really well informed on that, so like, I couldn't really do it. It's like, I love that joke in Investigations 2 where Edgeworth tries to, like, catch, like, you know, De Killer out in a lie of disguising as an ice cream salesman, and then it's like, wait, crap, I actually have no idea how making ice cream works. How do I try and trick him? So I will take Mitsuru, and yes! Let's go double Makotos. I want to keep him around for at least a little bit longer just because he's fun. But no, I guess this time, let's give the Shadows a chance. Yeah, how about we put in Yu Narukami as well? You know, we haven't used Ann in a while. Actually, no, let's go Morgana. Because, like, I was going to use Ann, but that's redundant with the fire coverage that Makoto Yuki already has. Speaking of Makoto Yuki, I'll take Futaba as navigator for this. You know, it's been a while since we were at Kamoshida, man. I do have the chest detection skills on my navigator persona, right? Because if I don't, this could be a huge problem. Oh, this really is Ace Attorney Investigations. No, I think it was a good spin-off series. Well, I mean, the first game was mediocre, but the second game was amazing. It just makes up for it. Like, I would say that Investigations Collection is worth buying entirely for Investigations 2. And Capcom, like, the Ace Attorney games go on sale pretty often. Like, definitely get them. They're all really, like, even the weaker ones are good by normal standards. So, okay, Parvati has wide range of hidden passages. Oh, right, yeah, it is higher range than... Oh, okay, you actually don't have that. That's not good. Okay. Right. I am gonna have to be extra careful then. Also, the FOEs are all, like, blue and terrible. Akihiko, you haven't been here, so you wouldn't know. This is Kamo City. The entire city is a crime scene. Literally everywhere you step is a crime scene. And, like, for multiple reasons, too, because, like, there's all the crimes against humanity going on under Kamoshida's rule, and also the fact that Kamoshida has probably made literally every action a crime that is not worship Kamoshida, man. So yeah, the entire city is a crime scene. Have they ever made that joke in Batman? That, like literally every single inch of Gotham is a crime scene? This reminds me, now that yeah, it's funny recording these, like, I was talking about, oh, I hope the new Superman movie is good. I haven't watched it yet, but, like, as of now, it's come out, and it's actually been getting pretty good press, which is kind of nice. Like, I'm glad, because there was a lot riding on it. We've become famous. But yeah, well, there's one thing in that, apparently, where, like, people, like, try to flee Metropolis from something that happens in that movie, and then, like, there's, like, one of the signs that people are being directed towards is, like, Gotham, and I think it's become a meme online, like, wait, people are fleeing to Gotham? Why would you even do that? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this is already a comic book plot. If, like, the Joker would cause, like, a crisis in Metropolis just to get more people to evacuate to Gotham, just to get them in Gotham so that he can like, mess with them there. I guess while on the subject of, like, Kamoshida, man, like, this labyrinth, and, like, this is my place for superhero tangents. That just reminded me of something that I found out recently, which was kind of hilarious. I was looking at, like, at a summary of, like, the Batman 3 Jokers comic, which is, like, very controversial, because it tries to reconcile all the differences in continuity and, like, the differences in personalities between the Joker in every era by saying, oh, actually, there were 3 people who were the Joker all along. One of them was, like, the, more straightforward criminal from, like, the early days. One of them is the more cartoonish, less threatening one. And then one of them is the more modern-day nihilistic chaos guy, like, Heath Ledger's Joker. Okay, I actually don't want to spoil it, because, like, the actual 3 Jokers story itself, from the review that I watched, sounds genuinely good. The problem is that, in true comic book fashion... oh, by the way, somebody's, like, dead here, apparently? Yeah. Sorry, I'm like, talking over that. I really shouldn't be, but, like, in true comic book fashion, it only got bad once they put a multiverse into it. Like, it turns out that, like, there's a guy in an alternate universe, and this happened in a way later story, but, like, there's a guy in an alternate universe who, a universe with no Joker, and so he was desperate to become his universe's Joker, because it's like, there must be a Joker, because DC needs the marketability in every universe. And so, like, no matter how hard he tried, he never became the Joker, and eventually he realized, he's like, wait a minute, there's a reason why I never become the Joker, because it's my entire role in the multiverse is to create Jokers. So, like, every time he, like, steps on this one, like, thing, another Joker goes through an origin story in another DC part of the multiverse. It sounds so dumb. It's like, I make Jokers. But, like, the original story does generally sound silly. But the main point that I wanted to make, though, which I just think is hilarious, it's not mine, it was pointed out by a comment on that video, but I still think it's hilarious, is... Okay, so this is full card and win boost, and a weakness. Oh yeah, level 8 persona. So, in this story, Batman, like, basically visits a dying, like, Joe Chill, the guy who killed his parents. He visits him, like, on his deathbed when he's, like, genuinely repentant and just, like, wants to apologize for the whole thing. So, like, Batman finally makes peace with, like, his parents' death. And then it turns out that, like, the Joker orchestrated all of that to happen entirely so that he could be Batman's greatest pain. And, like, one person in the comments in that video just summed it up perfectly by being like, that is just the most Joker thing ever. To just be like, no, I'm the worst thing that ever happened to you. So those were actually the only 2 treasure chests in this labyrinth. Okay, so we can press this button to turn off the searchlights and not have to fight the chicken kids. As curious as I am to see how quickly they die to my superpowered, I almost called him Gary Stu again. Yeah, probably best not just bother with fighting here. But no, let's just ignore them. Yeah, I should pay more attention to the actual story that's going on here, but I guess one final thing I will say is, yeah, I understand why the idea of, like, the 3 Jokers is controversial, but But I do think the original story, like, if you just treat it as a standalone and not as something in, like, the Batman canon, because it's just like, this is why I only ever follow, like, superhero movie franchises, because, like, there's so many problems that arise in the comics treating, like, 80-plus years of stories as all canon. Like, it's just impossible to reconcile that. And then when they try to, it's like, oh, guess we're gonna have to blow up the whole multiverse and reboot the timeline again. In fact, like, literally the Three Jokers thing happened in one of those crossovers, apparently. It's like Batman sits on, like, this throne of, like, omnipotence that lets you know, like, anything, and he asks, like, what is the Joker's name? And he's like, no, it's impossible. And then it's like, I got not one, but 3 names. Yeah, so our enemies are stealthy, speaking of Batman. Yeah, back during, like, the Kamoshida Man thing itself, they'd probably just be like, there, it just happens all the time. And they're like, oh, normally Kamoshida would handle this, but he's too busy beating up that one kid who said Kamoshida Man wasn't cool enough. Nah. Yeah, I actually kind of like this, because, like, the Persona 3 party is not familiar with this dungeon. They weren't here for its event, so they need to be brought up to speed on it. And it is sort of cool just to see how, like, these worlds change now that we've solved their, well, not solved all their problems, obviously, because this is still happening, but, like, now that, you know, after we've been here, they continue to change. Oh, that's what this title means. Okay, that is interesting, though. And how it relates to Mitsuru, and... Because in a way, both her and Makoto are, like, they're people who are trying to, like, take over and reform corrupt organizations. And hope that that has a trickle-down effect in reducing the corruption. Yeah, that is an interesting angle. So yeah, now, there will be a fight after you check the 3rd crime scene, I believe. And for this fight, you will want fire and also ice. Let's remember, I think there's one other thing in the whole Batman 3 Jokers thing that's controversial, and that is the, that's the idea that, like, it implies that the Joker's backstory in The Killing Joke is like, actually real, whereas a big part of the Joker's backstory is meant to be that, like, even though a lot of people like the backstory that he gives in The Killing Joke, it's still heavily implied he's just making all that up. Like, I still think it's better when he should never have an actual canon backstory. Like, it should always just be that he just has different sob stories that he tells everyone to gain sympathy. So yeah, like, there's a whole thing of, like, Batman putting, like, that ex-comedian's, like, wife in witness protection in that story, and it's like, I mean, that's kind of nice, but it also implies that the Joker's backstory in The Killing Joke is actually true, and that kind of misses the point. Anyway. Yes, welcome to this special screening where I talk about my thoughts on a Batman comic, but again, it is the superhero movie. Yeah, like, as far as these two go, even though they both fit the kind of, you know, authoritative student council president type, and they're both very academic, Mitsuru's people skill, I feel like Makoto at least has way better people skills than Mitsuru does. And in a way, it's more than just because Mitsuru was so sheltered. Like, I'd argue that she's even more sheltered than Haru is, and that's saying something. Yeah, like, exactly. Unlike her, she's actually built more of a foundation of trust with the young, even though there's a bunch of people online who actually seem to think that Makoto hates all of the core highs for some reason. But the whole animosity between Ann and Makoto was resolved in, like, one arc. And, like, Makoto admitted that she was, okay, they're actually acknowledging that here, that she was originally not quite like that. Yeah, that she wasn't always like that. But it resolved pretty quickly, though. Like, in a way, Makoto is almost like the kind of person that Mitsuru could become with, like, a little bit more... Because, like Mitsuru doesn't really start to truly open up until very late in the story of Persona 3, whereas for Makoto it happens much earlier. So it is actually very interesting to see how these two interact, yeah. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, in a way, maybe the reason why she's saying this is the sense that, like, Makoto felt that her authority meant nothing. Because she was in a school where the principal was overruling everything she did, and she was kind of being blackmailed into working for him, and she wasn't able to do anything about Kamoshida, and yeah, that's part of what causes the whole friction. Like, all that friction is just very natural, too. Like, like, I actually like the way, like, I feel like it's a little better than, like, the, you know, the Ryuji, Morgana thing. It's kind of like how to do that naturally, because it's just like, yeah, it's only... Because, like, Ann doesn't really know Makoto or her situation. It's only natural for Ann to think that Makoto willingly stood by and did nothing while Kamoshida was doing what he did. And, of course, that would make... Like, Ann would really hate somebody who did that. And meanwhile, Makoto kind of just thinks the Phantom Thieves are kind of just a bunch of delinquents who are just kind of stirring up attention. Like, she's not really sure whether they really are as righteous as they say they are, until she gets them to confirm it. And also, Makoto has a giant complex with her sister as well, being called useless, and... Like, I like the whole, you know, Kaneshiro situation with Makoto, because, like, it's one of the times the story allows a character to be really, really, really dumb. But, like, for very understandable reasons. He's like, okay, I'm so desperate to, like, get dirt on the Mafia, I'm gonna get myself kidnapped. That is a completely idiotic thing to do when you're a teenager. But, like, from her perspective, like, she's just really desperate and not thinking straight. Are these the precursors to the Great Subway Slammer? I don't really understand the whole memes around that. I mean, I do, but, like, it's like the Arvis memes in Genealogy of the Holy War. I kind of prefer it when, like, stuff is, like, not just known for memes. Yeah, they wouldn't exactly mistake her for an innocent victim looking like that. Yeah, Mitsuru definitely seems to play that part a little better, even though, you know, she's an amazing... Yes. Yes. Yes! I like how he has a specific, like model of turning to Mitsuru to ask that. Yes. I mean, Teddy could definitely pull that off, same with Yu Narukami. Definitely not Kanji and Yosuke, though. Sorry, I was thinking, like, wait, are you breaking the fourth wall by calling it a map? But no, we do have a map in-universe. And yeah, it's right over there. And here we are. I guess this does look like a very isolated alley. We won't let them get away. Yes, this also just shows the differences between, like, honorable thieves and, the bad kind of thieves. And thanks to the memory erasure, the Yukari has to go through this learning to trust Mitsuru arc 3 times, because it can't stick until Persona 3 itself. And even then, not until November. And then she has a rapier, and she also has, like, double weakness damage. She'll be fine. Well, that was a kind of a jump scare sound effect. Let's bring him down. But what are they? Well, of course they are! Like, isn't everything in this place technically a shadow? or a cognition, but I mean, cognitions and shadows are conceptually very similar. Okay, this music is appropriate. So we have 2 more apostate towers, just like normal, we can just use ice on them, but we also have a Jotun of power. This thing is weak to fire and wind. It also resists a bunch of elements, but I don't care because we are insanely strong. So let's go ahead and... Oh, I guess I can do... That's resisted, but it will still hit both of them. And then let's go for a Mabufu. And let's go for a... we are pretty well equipped for this party, I'd say. Oh, I was gonna show off Final Guard, but I guess I can do that next turn. Yeah, I always used to think this part of the song was Eyes Upon Our Foes. But no, it's not. I am just relishing in Life Will Change here, although this is probably going to get the video demonetized, but oh well. His whole, like, crouching sword stance there does look kind of weird, given he's more of a magic user in this game, but yeah, the towers are almost certainly going to die. Oh yeah, every time you hit him with a weakness, he does do that annoying thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to just use the screen skill and block that weakness. And I did that entirely for the extra link hit. Here we go. Thank you, Swordbreaker. No thank you, Swordbreaker. Oh, that is nullifies damage to everyone. Okay. Well, let's go with that. So now fire is gonna work. And so for that, let us go for... I'm gonna go for like a boosted nuclear strike link as well. Leg Reaper, that thing is going to die to Mabufu regardless, and then let's go for, no, I want to go for, like, link damage, I guess. Yeah, I want to get an extra, like, link hit in, potentially. Yeah, she has a unique call-out for that. Enemy attacks are nullified for 1 turn. It does cost the entire gauge, though, so for a single turn, it's usually not worth it. And Morgana's attack went off before I got the nuclear strike link, which is unfortunate. Okay, now I'm going to try something. If I don't all-out attack, will it not use Fire Screen? Because that's how Kamoshida Man works. Let's see. It doesn't seem to be using fire. Yeah, it seems like those are like anti-all-out attack measures. So, yeah, at this point, I think... Oh, I don't think Morgana's healing can keep up with that. He doesn't have, like, Medea Rama. I kind of need Yukari for that. But, I mean, I could just try this out for lols anyway. So let's go for... Oh, no, he does have Medea Rama. Yeah, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Okay. And yes, Mitsuru wants to execute this thing. So yeah, Mitsuru's doing a little more because we've got a weakness here, but even then... Makoto's still hitting pretty hard, as is Makoto number 2. But nobody else is, like, linking. Let's heal up and then go... Shura Tensei time! Fitting that it's on Berserker. Yeah, so just don't all-out attack this thing. That's, like, the key to this. Triple down, maybe? Because you do have a Leg Strike link, and that with Shura Tensei is going to be really interesting. But I do want to keep Morgana healing. Although, wait, no, Morgana's going to go... I mean, Lucky Punch could get me some boosts as well, but... Maybe I should try that. Oh yeah, I'll get it guaranteed, because it's agility bound. Leg Reaper was helpful for that. So yeah, I'm just waiting a little bit until I get to show off the Shura Tensei attack. Here it comes, Elect Strike Link while it's down. Yeah, that's a lot of damage! Okay, now I know that Morgana goes after him, so I will, yeah. And it still buffs the damage of that too. So yeah, Shura Tensei is quite broken. If I had Fire Link, I could make even better use of that. But I guess now's the time for Persona 3 male protagonist to show his stuff. Elect Strike Link again. And now you can Medea Rama. It's probably like... the Argulaos have kind of got this at this point. I don't really have that much of a need for Shura Tensei, but you can see just how much Shura Tensei is boosting the damage here. Like, it is straight up triple damage. Oh, now you use Fire Screen. I'm pretty sure that I didn't... Maybe you can only have one screen up at a time. Maybe that's why. But as you can see there, I did a lot of damage there even without the weakness. Yeah, you take the half HP every time you attack. If I had used one more hit, I probably would have finished that last turn. Now I kind of want to finish it now. There we go, good. Because I feel like maybe... I forget if you finish off an enemy with Shura Tensei, does the recoil happen, like, before or after the battle ends? Because, like, maybe the battle will just end and you're fine and you still get the experience, but if the recoil happens first and then the battle ends, then he would have died. Also, yay, there's Junpei doing the level up jingle for the first time.
Oi.
Yeah, see? A good leader isn't a total jerk to their subordinates. That's what we've learned today. Ryuji, you aren't even part of her team. I mean, it also helped that you had the enemy's weakness. Even Iori-kun. Everyone worked well, even Iori-kun. For once, it's not his own team that's abusing him. It's possible, but I mean, you know, Mitsuru's an inspiring leader. And I feel like Mitsuru does get less strict as the story progresses. Oh, don't worry, Mitsuru. Don't blame yourself for that. Blame the fact that, like, they're not allowed to open up to you until, like, November, and therefore they can't do it in spin-offs. Everybody? No, oh, no. Let's not make this a Mitsuru icebreaker, please. I mean, that's kind of a pun, though, but, like, oh. Yeah, so, one of my favorite things in Persona 5 is that if you go out into the town when that happens, they are actually there. You could have a fighting game tournament, like that one fanfiction that I wrote. Please read that. Yeah, this sort of reminded me of this. I do feel like there's a lot of people who have actually kind of turned on Makoto as the years since Persona 4 have gone on, and I don't really want to fully get into it because, like, some of it is, like, stuff that, you know, is a little bit too, like, political for what I want to, like, really talk about in my videos, but, it's just, like, there's kind of a prevailing narrative now that, like, she's kind of, like, a hard ass and, like, just too, like, much of a stickler for the rules, and I do get that, but also at the same time, I still think she's fine. I will admit that, like, I don't think I like her as a character as much as I used to. But it's more like, just, you know, opinions kind of shift gradually. I still... Oh, that's actually kind of cool. That's actually really amazing. There's even an animation for it, too. Seeing Mitsuru blushing is just very weird, but yeah. I mean, people who like a romance route probably do like that, but I don't like her romance route. Anyway, though. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. Makoto always had her detractors, but I feel like in the early days of Persona 5, most people who were doing that just hated her either because she was popular or for shipping reasons. Now it feels like there's a lot more, like, legitimate criticism of Makoto as a character going around in the fandom, and, like, that's fine. Because, like, it does feel like back in the day, most of the arguments against her really boiled down to, I ship joke with someone else and therefore I hate her guts. Yes, they appear to be anti-radiation drugs. That's a Doctor Who thing. Oh, motorcycle gloves. Speaking of Ace Attorney investigations, if you play investigations too, you will be horrified by the thought of motorcycle gloves. Yeah, I just really want to drive a motorcycle like I'm in Mad Max or something. It's like, just don't question it too much. I don't even have my license yet. Meanwhile, like, Okami's gonna come in and say, I already have my scooter license. And everyone's like, wait, what? I like riding scooters. Yeah, this is kind of a nice moment. Of course, Mitsuru's motorcycle also gives me weird thoughts about, Mitsuru Simp, who... Hello, you mentioned me? I am Mitsuru Yandere. I'm still here, even in spin-offs. You can never escape me. I still want to be run over by Mitsuru's motorcycle, but now there's another one whose motorcycle I want to be run over by. They can do a unison attack on me. Both Makoto and Mitsuru will run me over with their motorcycles at the same time. Okay, get out of this spin-off. That's enough out of you, Mitsuru Simp. And of course, out of everyone here, the one who actually leveled up was Morgana. But that kind of fits. Morgana's kind of like the Mitsuru of the Phantom Thieves. He's kind of like the early leader before, like, he gets replaced. Anyway, we can now use Presidential Combo! And, my raw recording time is really long, but I'm probably going to cut out most of this, so I can probably afford to fit in Long Lost Tech as well. Humans left Jurassic Land long ago, but their abandoned technology remains. How can the dinosaurs confront what humans left behind? Is there ever anyone in fiction who pronounces it like technology? The thing is, it's going to, like, disintegrate if we try to bring it out of them. Well, actually, no, we've brought stuff out of the movies before, but if we try and, like, bring it back to, like, our worlds, it will probably disintegrate.
Yeah.
Or turn into something mundane, like the Persona 5 treasures. Yeah, there is beauty in technology, if it's designed well. Like, in Japan, I found, like, an art gallery that had, like, a gigantic, like, mechanism for, like, sending Hot Wheels cars down a track. Like, that was cool. Please don't suddenly turn into talking about food. Let me guess, you don't know which container. Yeah, I knew these containers were relevant to a special screening at some point. Yeah, the freeze meat one. Someone to fit inside and freeze. Hey, let's test it out. Let's see if you can fit a person. Akechi, you up? Even if he says no, the Phantom Thieves don't care. They'll just throw him in the container. I am very close to a chest tracking skill on Parvati. Is there any chance that sacrificing Alp will give it to me? It will! Wow! I cannot believe that worked! Renewal Ray's kind of weak at this point. I got most of my tangents out of the way in the last one, but I guess there was actually one thing that I wanted to talk about regarding, like, because, like, okay. It's kind of fitting that, like, I was talking about the new Superman movie in Kamashita Man, and now that's out. I was talking about the new Jurassic World movie in this one, and now that's out, and hasn't really been getting as good reviews, anywhere near as good reviews, but, like, yeah. I mean, I think, like, the best people have said is, like, at least it's better than, what was the one before? I'd say something I can't really even remember its name. Because it was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, then another, now it's Jurassic World Rebirth. I cannot even remember the name of the third one. and that tells you something. But like I think the most critics are saying is at least it's better than that one. But there was something about that I really wanted to talk about during Jurassic Land I never actually got to, and that is that, so that movie does something that I always find really annoying, and that is like when an installment tries to like do a major shift to the status quo, and then is like, oh no, we're backpedaling because that's too much. Like classic example of that is the Jurassic World movies, because in those ones, kind of definitely spoilers. Fallen Kingdom ends with, like, dinosaurs being unleashed on the rest of the world, not just isolated to theme parks or islands. And it ends with, like, Jeff Goldblum's character giving a speech about welcome to Jurassic World, and, like, now we humans have to learn to live alongside dinosaurs. It's like, I thought, wow, this is actually kind of cool. Giant status quo shift for, like, the entire thing. I know it makes things, like, less relatable, but it's like, now, dinosaurs are gonna just be in the world as part of, like, the natural wildlife. They're gonna be, like, spreading, and humans are gonna have to learn to adapt to that. Nope, it turns out that all of them died except the ones on islands, so we're back to the same status quo of the original Jurassic Park. I hate it when writing does that. It really bothers me. When they set up a giant status quo shift and then they chicken out. And it's funny, because the other example off the top of my head is related to the Joker, so it brings things full circle. The Batman Arkham games. In Arkham City, in the credits, they heavily imply that, like, Harley Quinn might be pregnant with the Joker's child. And then in the DLC, they actually have a bunch of, like, pregnancy tests that say may give false positive, and so they backpedaled on that. I get that it would have been kind of controversial to, like, include that in the plot, but, like, it does also feel like, well, nope, we're not ready for that big of a status quo shift, let's just backpedal. Yeah, it always bothers me when franchises do that. Yeah, Yusuke, oh boy, if you were in Kanji's dungeon, you would have some images to draw. I feel like Yusuke would definitely, like, he'd probably enjoy that. He's like, such excellent examples of the male anatomy. And he would just be, like, frantically sketching, and everyone else would be like, okay then. Yeah, let's just leave him to it for a bit. And then he would, like, submit them to, like, some kind of, like big-time, like, art gallery, and they'd probably be, like, really famous. And then one day Kanji would view them in an art gallery and he'd be like, wait a minute, why are these giant naked men strangely familiar to me? That Persona headcanon sure went places. So yeah, you might notice there's actually 2 FOEs there ready to charge at you if you go in there, but we can slip around them via a shortcut. That also leads to a chest. First special screening chest. Not a bad amount of money. Ha ha, I shortcut around you. We are beginning to approach the container. Oh, okay, that is kind of wholesome. Although, like Fox's tail in his outfit would be a nightmare with, like, pets, because they would just be trying to grab it constantly. Arms as well. Yeah, exactly. Is there ever any confirmation Naoto likes cats back in P4 itself? Yeah, but in general, it seems like a lot of introverts tend to like cats. Morgana, you just barely caught yourself there. You just barely caught yourself there. Oh wait, no, hang on, I just realized something. Morgana is closeted cat. Also, there is yet another treasure map thing here. Let's take a guess. Will it be a blank card again? Let's find out. Oh, no, it's a recipe. That's cool. Yeah, notice the damages on Agilao's here compared to Makoto Yuki and Mitsuru. Like 140 to 150 versus like 170 to 190. And it will only get bigger as the game goes on. And of course, if you stack things like Mind Charge on top of all that... Okay, so there's a bunch of the containers, but before we do that, unfortunately, the other chest is very out of your way. It is all the way down here in this bottom corner. And it contains medium fire damage to all enemies. Well, this definitely looks like one we can climb inside. That is like an asthmatic's worst nightmare. It's kind of cool they show that, like, Yusuke does have his eye for beauty works when it comes to identifying good technology as well. It's a very unique angle to the character. See, even though these special screenings do go on for, like, quite a while, I do feel like they give some good insights. And they can be a nice breather from exploring the main parts of the dungeons. Yes, they are both going full autism right now. I can see Naoto being on the spectrum, and Yusuke as well. Also, Futaba, and maybe Fuka as well. I don't know, I guess everyone is autistic in their own little way. Yeah, having, like, Naoto, like, Naoto geeking out, you'd expect her to geek out with Futaba or Fuka, but having her geek out with Yusuke is just such a unique idea. I like it. And Yusuke is not being flanderized about food this time. That's like the third time you've called him that. I mean, the sad thing is that's kind of true, because the reward for this is making it so that you have to pay him less money for his services. Well, I mean, both of them are into technology in the sense they both like to eat a fried machine. By both of them, I mean him and Elizabeth. Nobody gets the logic of Velvet Room attendants. Oh, right, that must be a P3P thing. I actually haven't seen any of Theodore's scenes in Persona 3 Portable. The true ending. The true ending, that is, it was all pointless. Although, that actually reminds me that, like, I think it's like 100 Line Last Defense Academy. It has an ending that's called the true ending, but it's called that because it's the ending where you learn the most truth, not the ending that's like actually the most satisfying. And also, I guess we add Koromaru to the autism. I think people have said that, like, all cats are, like, autistic, but anyway. I really don't want to be throwing around the term autism lightly, but, like, you know, I am autistic, so I guess I kind of can do that. Oh, okay, Yukari leveled up out of that. Oh. It's, like, it's a novelty to have a cool physical skill in Yukari, but, like, I don't want to delete any of these, so... And I doubt I'm really going to use this much. On Aegis, I would love to have Arrow Rain on Aegis right now, but sadly, that requires sub-personas. Or... wildcards. Wait, oh! Oh, because we've completed 15! We have this now. Ah, yeah, this is the second one that, you know, is going to progress us towards unlocking Ultimate Personas, and it unlocks another Velvet Room attendant battle, too. I think we'll take care of that one next time. Because for now, let's just show off bullying Theodore by forcing him to charge a lower rate for his stuff. Only 10%, but it's still a discount. Oh yeah, we also have that recipe we need to sell him. And that gives you... Oh, right, that's just for, you know, more resistance boosting stuff. Okay, so next time I think I will actually go for the new King of the Jungle, and after that, we'll take on the rest of Aiga's Floor 3. See you all then.